So Cody, he just got done getting worked. He doesn't get to reach across the stall door anymore. That being pushy, there's no future in that for him. So we're gonna take him. I put him in the horse trailer. We went across a tarp. We led with some quality. It's just no rope halter I had laying around. I could use the nylon halter for the patient's pole because he'll already stand tied a little bit. What he doesn't do is relax when he's tied. So every day I only have him for a short amount of time. He needs to get back, not be pushy. This slip ring, slide that through here. And I used about a 6 or 7 foot piece of rope. Now I'm gonna leave him. I'm not gonna leave him for hours, but I am gonna leave him. And I'm gonna stand behind the camera. So he's been on the slip ring now for a minute. That twitching and that biting on that rope and that kind of stuff, that's okay with me. I don't care. Obviously that rope's had the end chewed off of it. That's part of the cost of doing business. He's out there looking at the cows that are across the road, and he's not pawing. He's not raising hell. He's relaxed. He can move around all he wants on that thing, but what he can't do is throw a fit out there. I want him to learn to stay where we put him, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I don't think horses that are anxious and paw and crowd into you and squeal and rear up and run backwards, I don't think those horses are happy. I think they're living in trouble. Well, one of the easiest ways in the world to help him not live in trouble is to teach him to control his emotions. But we can't teach him to control his emotions if we avoid things or tasks that cause an emotional or mental response. We have to expose them to this and let them find soft, quiet, and relaxed on their own. After they find it the first time, it becomes easier and easier for them to gravitate towards soft, quiet, and relaxed, not shut down, not flooded, but soft, quiet, and relaxed the next time that they get exposed to something. And I would rather have a horse go towards soft, quiet, and relaxed. He's standing hip shot. And if this horse gravitates towards soft, quiet, and relaxed when the situations happen that make him anxious, he will solve his own biggest dilemmas. And all we did was set up the situation and allow him to work around at it for a few minutes. I didn't tie him up to this patient's pole for 2.5 days until he was starved down and out of water. I didn't force this. I worked him, then I tied him up. Pretty quick, he figured out after he gets worked, he gets tied up. And tied up is better than working. What an opportunity to just relax. And I only have him for 5 or 6 more days. He was part of a little deal that I donated to the Palmer family's benefit auction. And so I only donated 2 weeks. Well, this is Wednesday of his 2nd week. and it's already had an impact. If you watch the videos the first day, he was stomping and charging around. He was running out of the horse trailer backwards. He didn't want to stay. He didn't want to get in. He just was in a hurry. He didn't have a relaxed enough mind that you could expose him to good stuff. You was always having to fix things that weren't quite right. And he's a great horse. The lady loves him. She loves riding him. A friend of mine is the one who's started this horse and riding him all over the place, and she is a double hand. If somebody wants to know who she is, all you got to do is message me and I'll give you her name. Quality horsewoman. But sometimes when you have a lot of horses, you got to get the riding done. So if you got to get the riding done, you don't have time to do this kind of stuff. But in my opinion, when this horse goes back to my friend so she can ride him some more, he's going to be easier to ride. But I'll ask her. But he's been tied up now for, I got a timer on this film. He's been tied up now for better than 5 minutes, and he ain't moved his feet 6 inches. So that's a starter. If you teach them to relax, if you teach them to respond instead of react, it'll be so much easier to get along with them. It'll be so much easier to teach them things. And his life will be better. You know how a human gets, when they get all fired up, their heart rate goes up and their skin twitches, and they don't like living like that unless they're a speed freak. I like being chill. I like being relaxed. And I think old Cody does too. So these patience poles are only evil if you don't know how to use them. That's about the same story as with every tool. Flags, spurs, dressage whips, all of that stuff, and on and on and on. But all that stuff is evil if you don't know how to use them. Your job is to get educated and learn how to use your tools. Your job is to become a student of the horse and learn how a horse thinks so you can help him like a horse would think, as opposed to a human being thinking, because horses and humans are different. We work with horses like we were working with horses, not working with another human. But saying a tool is evil and not knowing how to use that tool correctly is just as bad as using the tool incorrectly. You can't be so close-minded that you refuse to use tools that will help your horses learn to relax. And he's not flooded. He's not suffering from learned helplessness. He's learning how to control his emotions and respond instead of react. And we all want our horses to be quiet. Why wouldn't we teach them to be quiet? And you're not going to do that with violence. You're going to do it by thinking like a horse. You're going to do it by giving them what they need when they need it, no more, no less. You're going to get it by becoming a student of the horse and not just training them because of something you saw on TV. You're training them because it's important to you. So you got a little video there of Cody standing on the patience pole. And if you still think this is evil, then I can't help you. I probably don't know anybody that can help you. But I would pray for your horse's benefit that you learn how to use these tools correctly and use the correct tool for the correct job and learn to think a little bit like a horse. You don't want your horse thinking like a human. Humans are terrible. You need to think like a horse because horses are cool. Anyway, if you're getting anything out of these videos, I would really appreciate it if you're watching them on YouTube. If you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Equine Kindergarten, and hit like and share. If you're watching these videos on Facebook, I would really like it if you followed me, Butch Mowdy, on Facebook and hit like and share. None of that stuff costs a dime, but it sure means a lot to me. Sure means a lot to me. Thank you for your time. I think we're going to take Cody off the pole because I think we've kind of shown you that progress can be made if we approach the situation correctly. And my way ain't the only way, but this is the way that helped Cody. And he'll just keep getting better for the next week. And I think they'll see a big difference in him when he goes back to his trainer. Thank you for your time. Bye.